Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Rick.
And today we are talking about the recommended movie from CJ, Redline, which, just going to throw that out there, I know both you and I actually really enjoyed this, Rick. If I, just in case anyone's wondering, we both enjoyed it. But before that, we were talking about Rick time, how he runs his time, showing him some very much love and kindness.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to catch a part of that water conversation, patreon.com/featured anime podcast. $1 a month will get you access to all that bonus content and more. Now, on to the meat and potatoes. Redline is a movie that came out in August 2009. The studio for it is Madhouse, which, I mean, given the quality of the movie, I mean, I would expect no less from them. It is an original. It's a sci-fi action, sports racing type of movie, and it ran for 1 hour 42 minutes.
Are you sure it wasn't 5?
5 minutes? It's very, very much possible if you only watch the pilot, which came out in January 2009.
Okay, so I mean, technically, you're telling me it qualifies, right? Like the 5 minute run.
Sure. Very much like that time traveling granddaughter, like CJ was saying earlier, in the pre-show, while we were sitting there talking, getting ready, Sweet JP, the main male protagonist of this, when he hits that nitro, he's actually boosting through timelines.
I mean, it makes sense like that. That's what I thought.
Right.
I was like, wow, this is real intriguing.
Makes me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. Yeah.
Goodness.
No, but in all seriousness, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was very well done. The artwork was very nostalgic for me, and it was very fun.
Why do you think it was nostalgic?
The artwork was nostalgic for me.
Okay, that makes sense.
No, it had a reminiscent and reminded me of some other shows and some other movies that I've seen that have a similar anime style. Granted, none as clean as this. None as as clean as these, because these were just.
This is what you get when you actually pay your animators.
Right. No, this was on another level clean. The main character, though, I'll tell you this right now. The main character, made me think of a greaser racing Elvis a little bit.
Right. So, I didn't. Well, while I do know what you're talking about, that's not quite what I saw when I was watching. What I saw. So there's an anime. If you haven't watched it, I kind of recommend it. It's called Beelzebub. It's about a baby demon coming to Earth and all that stuff. There's a main character there who's got a pompadour, and that's what I was thinking of.
Well, I mean, in terms of pompadours, there's a lot of anime characters out there that have that, and you can even reference Yu Yu Hakusho, granted different hair color for it as well. I mean, and then you also have One Punch Man as well, who also has it too. So, I mean, but CJ in our chat says, yes, exactly. So
in reference to
the Elvis comic, kind of a greaser punk racing Elvis. And then he also it also reminds him of the Yu Yu Hakusho guy. So Kurama, I believe, is his name.
Yes. Yeah, Kurama. Yeah, actually the mannerisms and everything like that, also the brazenness, that makes perfect sense as well. Definitely fantastic. Great guy. Yeah. 100% worth watching, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is definitely a great movie. And it doesn't waste any time really dragging you right into it. Like it's a race right off the bat. You're thrown in the middle of it, so it's getting towards the end anyways. And they're laying all this groundwork, right? And what I found really, really cool is at the very beginning, they're showing you the cars, the people. They're giving you a quick rundown of their name, so that way you can kind of get an idea of it. And then you have him, and and then you have Sweet JP and the Trans Am barreling in. It's like, all these monstrous megalithic cars, vehicles, spaceships, all kinds of crazy stuff. And
Yes.
like, and then he's like in a little Trans Am, like just blowing by everyone. Like, granted, yeah, it is souped up beyond all belief. I mean, like, no, it's like everything that we have today wouldn't hold a candle to it. All right,
At all.
not even close. But still, I mean, like the funness of it, the like he's an underdog type thing, but he's still going to overtake him type feel, still very prominent, right?
You've got a lot. Good.
Oh, no, by all means.
You've got a lot going on in this anime, and not just in the sense of underdog. You've got the feeling of slight betrayal. You've got mafia you got mafia trouble, gambling, racing,
fixing races,
mainly racing. Yeah, you got fixing races. You have, and later on you have a history, and somehow everyone knows everyone. But I got a question for you. In your opinion, is there something weird about JP? His physiology? Is there something weird about either his luck or his body?
I mean, he has pointy ears.
Okay, so maybe potentially elf-like. No, I just thought it was rather odd because every time you see him get into a crash, that just mangles whatever he's driving.
I'm sorry,
he's able to walk away.
Well, to be fair, we see him get in one crash where everything is mangled. All right, one crash, and he didn't walk away. He did end up in the hospital. He did have medical bills. He did get messed up. But you also have to take into consideration, sir, there is a very big difference between what's happening with him and us.
We're not drawn that well.
Exactly. We don't have main character energy like that, all right?
Well, so here's where I bring up my thought process and my idea that he's not normal. Do you remember when he took the anti-gravity motorcycle for a joyride and then he missed a jump, or he took a jump and basically somersaulted over the handlebars of this absolute beast of an ape hanger hog of a bike?
Right.
He lands in a field of flowers. And he opens his eyes, and I'm like, okay, so he's probably injured somehow. And then flames just poof, like they flare up and then extinguish. And then he gets up. And I'm thinking to myself,
well, his motorcycle is still drivable. He even makes the comment that it's still drivable and fine. Yeah. So it's not like he mangled it or anything like that. And I've seen people walk away from motorcycle accidents and things like that far worse than that. So you can't base it off of that. You cannot base it off of that. He was
thrown from the vehicle. He was thrown. So you don't see the motorcycle ever again. You don't even know if it's fixed. You just know that he says it's drivable. But we also know that when he finished with his Trans Am and one wheel was still attached, he was like, it's drivable. So, I mean, his definition of drivable isn't necessarily...
Hang on.
uninjured,
He had, like, I understand what you're trying to say, but I'd have to honestly disagree with you because you're taking something that basically turned into a rocket and say, hey, it's totally drivable. 100%. When you're not touching the ground, it doesn't matter how many wheels you have or don't have. You're in the air. So
I understand and I agree with you to a certain point. But what I'm saying is, in that moment when he was laying on the field of flowers, now typically if you're thrown from a vehicle and you land, like, I think he landed neck first, but like on his back. So when he opened his eyes,
I understand you want reality in an anime,
no, not
sir.
reality. I'm just thinking that
really
no one on here is regular people.
What was your first clue? I mean, like, we're living in a super fantasy world where people are
robot men.
Yeah, you have robot men, dog men, fish men, any kind of man, vampires, all this kind of random stuff. And then you have him that's doing this like special nitro caps. And when he does the second one, he starts bleeding out his nose and he just like starts looking like he's being torn from.
But he only does it once.
He does it more than once.
But he only bleeds out of his eyes once.
He bleeds more than once.
I don't remember.
All right. So, I mean, you have to understand, like, the reality is that you can't base this on reality. You can't focus on the reality, because if that's the case, like we have dogs and things like that are racing, and they have opposable thumbs and humanoid bodies and everything like that. Like,
they're not dogs at that point.
well, they're humanoid canines. All right.
They're gruff detective.
They're yeah, okay. So you can't base it on reality. You know, you can't base, oh, he survived. Well, first of all, we don't know the speed, we don't know anything like that, we don't know the details, or like pick your flavor, okay? We don't know nothing. All right,
I'm just saying, like,
it's an anime, it's a cartoon, it's animation.
True.
Why are you focused on it? That's my thing, man. Like, why
well, I'm focused on it because it seemed rather important. There's something about him that isn't normal. And to me, I know, right? But
oh
to
my
me,
god! Wait,
seemed like an important thing. They don't,
dude. They have someone that gets their face bashed in, and his teeth were pulled out, stuck to the hand that punched him, and then the next scene, he has teeth.
Yeah, he was a robot, man. So they just put it back in.
Well, it's not like he's pure robot. He's got biology. True. All right.
Dentures are a thing.
Yes, they are. All right. And then you also have the fact that, I don't know, what was it? You have the other robot guy that's also, I don't know, a vehicle at the exact same time, right? And then you have other people that are out in space that are kicking things that apparently don't have to breathe oxygen and everything like that. And then you have people that are on a moon that has no plants, that apparently still has oxygen, that has atmosphere and everything like that. I mean, like, let's go, dude. I mean, like, come on. He is the main character. He has main character energy. That's all you need to know, man. It don't matter. Well, like, why does it matter?
See anything? I have yet to see anything in this that was done frivolously. And what I mean by that is they don't throw pictures in here just because.
Right.
They serve some kind of purpose.
Okay. So what you're saying,
just a fire of desire for him to want to win. That's possible too. But
hey, there's a meaning. There is a purpose on why he landed in the flowers unscathed. The purpose is there is a greater, deeper meaning. It's the symbolic meaning behind this, and we must dig deep on why he survived that very survivable.
No, I'm not worried about him surviving. That was never my issue.
Unscathed.
It was his eyes. It was his eyes opening and that fire in his eyes. Yep. I was curious if it was desire, if it was potentially, nanobites having to consume extra energy and giving off extra heat to heal him from that very survivable,
what you saw was
arm.
The main character fire energy going off. But if you want to go with the nanobot portion of it, why would he have been laid up in the hospital with the splints if that were the problem?
He wasn't there for very long, was he?
We don't know how long he was actually there for.
Are you sure? Because I thought it was like 6 hours.
We don't know how long he was there for, or how long he was there for before that, even too.
I mean, that's fair too. I mean, I mean, well, okay, again, I
the
assume
perception of time is only given when they're at the planet and they're racing, and they're giving you like a time frame of when the race starts, leading up to it. They don't go beyond that in terms of time frame.
Are you sure? Because it feels like they might.
Are you sure that you're just not hoping for that?
Hoping and praying and thinking. No, it's frustrating to say the very least, because I know and I feel like the way that everything is going in this in the movie.
Thank you, CJ. Could not have said it better myself. He says you should know,
like
Rick.
This is a throwback.
Time is relative, right? Wink.
I
mean, that's what you were saying earlier. Time is relative. So, I mean, like it was 6 hours. Could have been 6 hours. But you know what? For them, 6 hours, throw it Rick time. We'll go with 6 months. An hour a month.
Hurtful. An hour a month. Oh, jeez.
You know I love you, man.
Oh, I know, but like, I feel like you're missing the point, and I know I'm hyper focused on this. I know I'm hyper focused on this, but it's only because I want you
To
to
what?
acknowledge
What?
that there was a flame in his eye. It was weird, and I felt like it meant something, but apparently you don't.
I understand you want the meaning behind him landing in the field of flowers to be very symbolic.
I do 100%.
That being said, the other characters also, it's not like they skimped on them. They actually did a really well job of fleshing out all the other characters and giving you a background to them too. So that way you kind of have a motive of who they are, how they are, why they are the way they are. So that way it's not just blind, it's not, they're helping you understand the motives and the details of all the other characters that are a part of it,
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, it really, really does. And I really like how everyone, while yes, they have their own identity and they have their own backstory, they don't take 9 hours to give it to you. You know what I mean? And it all comes together really nice and in a nice tight package. You don't get frivolous information simply because you don't need it. I
mean,
and
I know you were hoping for some frivolous information though, so just.
You mean frivolous topless information?
No, I was talking about the fire in his eyes.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because there was one scene in there that I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Right.
That's a rather perky opinion, let's call it.
Well, you know what?
Wasn't mad at it.
I am sure you weren't.
Like I said, fantastic quality of animation. Attention to detail on point.
Like, I'm glad you're finding something else to focus on.
Other than the flame in his eye.
Other than the flame in his eyes while he's laying in the field of flowers.
Oh man. No, but it was just I really enjoyed the story. It was very fast paced.
It was.
It felt far longer than an hour and 40 minutes. And I mean that in the best way possible.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're like, oh God, is it still going? It was like, I had to pause it every so often and be like, how much more do I have? Because I don't want it to end. And then it's weird. Like every time I'd pause it and realize only 15 minutes had passed, I went, this is awesome. I hope they keep it up. And they did. But I felt really sad when I paused it. I saw I was 3/4 of the way through and I was like, oh God. Well, okay, let's power through it. And yeah. And I thought the ending reminded me a lot of, at least the animation style reminded me a lot of, oh crap, I just had it. The digging animation, not digging animation. We reviewed it.
Gurren Lagann?
The guy with yes, Gurren Lagann. The outlandishness of it reminded me of that, and I loved every second of it.
Okay. So I mean, like, Grant, I'm a little shocked that you had trouble remembering that, considering you went so deep on that. We literally spent 3 episodes on that anime. All right.
Worth it. Worth every second.
Apparently not, because you didn't even remember the name.
I'm not really good with names.
I'm
fantastic with faces.
Yeah, sure.
I'm fantastic with the things. I'm talking about the things.
No,
and I'm fantastic with the other items. So right. Descriptions, if you will.
Right. Yeah. Sure. Mm-hmm.
No, I forgot the name. It was like I. The worst part is, have you ever remembered something, and like in your mind you can read it, but every time you're trying to focus on it, you can't focus on anything that's there. So you're like, I know it's blah, and it doesn't come out.
No, I'm actually drawing a blank on what you're trying to even describe, sir.
You've never had something on the tip of your tongue, and you know what it is. You can describe it. You can't name it.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, sir, but I just can't quite put my finger on it. It's like it's on the tip of my tongue. Like I just I know what you're trying to describe. Like I do.
You're a dick. Yeah. Dick.
Look. Sir, there is no reason to be so angry and hostile. All right.
Angsty. Okay. I'm angsty.
You're a pubescent teenager.
You know what? According to Wii Sports, I am.
All right. That's cool. Whatever, man. Whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside.
My hand-eye coordination is still at my peak.
Well, I mean, like to be fair with Wii Sports, you don't have to have perfect hand-eye coordination.
Oh God!
Just
thought
true, I would remind you of that, sir.
I appreciate you feeling the need to just shoot me down and watch me crash and burn, just like everybody else in this anime was hoping to see everyone crash and burn. You know what kind of worried me? Didn't really worry me, but it worried is the wrong way to put it. It surprised me. The Redline race, which was supposedly the most dangerous thing in the world, and everyone who enters, like one person survives or whatnot, had a surprising lack of death and dismemberment and destroyed vehicles.
Well, it's not. It's
the yellow line had more destruction.
I beg to differ.
Oh,
I beg to differ.
Okay.
The reason why I beg to differ, sir, is for one reason. Well, two reasons. Can we say can we just like agree the second coming of Akira was a thing in this anime? I mean, like
that thing was not Akira.
It looked like it. It was a giant, deformed something or another baby.
Yeah, it lacked discipline, whereas Akira
lacked discipline. Akira most assuredly lacked discipline. That's why the thing took over.
Okay, fair. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. I will concede. But what was that other thing that like also kind of sort of
the other biological weapon that the general
took over?
Yeah.
Like
it was another biological.
If it was so
weapon,
illegal,
what?
If it was so illegal, how come they had two of them?
Because they were hiding it. They even stated it. They were hiding it.
Well, why would you need more than one?
Why would you not want more than one?
I mean,
you're already breaking, like, you're already breaking treaties and laws. Treaties. Yeah. Like at one point you're like, you know what? I think we're good at just one. Let's we already broke it. We don't want to break it. You know, we don't want to go one. I think we're
and shatter.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, like, we may get our hand slapped with just one. I think it'll be all right. We'll be okay. Yeah. No.
Yeah. No. It felt excessive. You know, you need Goliath to defeat Goliath, kind of thing.
Well, it was more. To be fair, the Colonel didn't actually go in there to defeat it. Right? That just ended up being the byproduct of it. The Colonel was already going to go do that anyways to try and destroy everything as it was. So, you know, just kill the racers. Like, he mobilized the whole army. And the thing is like, you have an entire planet, militarized planet, that is like trying to really make good on its threat. Like, of, we will murder you. Like, straight up, we will just murder you if you come here. I mean, like, granted, apparently their army is just really shitty because they
apparently
just really, really shitty because they couldn't kill a fly, a wingless fly. So
beyond frustrating, I'm sure.
Yep.
I don't know, man. It was worse than stormtroopers. I feel like, you know, like they were like,
well, to be fair,
we got this, we got that.
If stormtroopers had a great medical plan and they got LASIK surgery, I mean, like, the Star Wars films would have never happened. So, you know,
fair.
So
that's fair. Although there's a theory that they were bad on purpose, but yeah, that's just a theory, a Rick theory.
Right.
That said, is there anything in this movie that surprised you or that you wanted more of?
Well, you know what I really wanted, sir? I really wanted them to dive deep into the fire of his eyes.
You're an ass. I knew you were staring longingly at those eyes. I knew it. Felt it.
Right. Yeah, I honestly don't remember the fire in his eyes, but I felt like it was a well done movie. Like they gave you enough information so that way you were properly informed.
True.
You were not left really wanting for information.
Yeah.
And in general, it was meant to be a fun, nonsensical type of movie, and I felt like it reached that. Like it did what it set out to do. Give you entertainment,
100%.
make it fun, just be a goofy, racing, blood pumping anime.
I feel like it was more than that. Something about the fire in his eyes. No. No, I feel like it was more than that simply because of just the quality.
Right.
The straight up quality. I have yet to see that quality of imagery in just a random anime. Like I don't know, or even an anime, even a movie. Like everything was crisp, everything was finely detailed. The fire when he struck a match off of him and off of other things, wonderful.
Yep. Like
And
the shadows, the lighting, the interactions, the movements, all
yeah,
of
they
it
were
was
fluid.
It was very well done. I have no issues with it. It provided a great watching experience. I enjoyed every second of it. It was, even the details, like the fine details about the food that they were eating. They even did details to that. Not realistic details. Like nothing about this is they were trying to break that realistic barrier, but it was like they cared.
Yeah.
And it showed. And the voice
100%.
actors as well. You could tell.
Oh yeah, they were on point.
They cared. Both sub and dubbed. Both sub and dub.
I only saw it subbed, but I expected that. I think I went to YouTube and they allowed me to watch not a preview, but a short clip of a race on dub, and I was like, I could see that matching. I could see that working. Like the choice of actor was
it was well done.
Surprising.
Like everything about this was well done.
Yeah, I liked it. I if I wasn't so, it's not weirded out. That's not the right way to put it. If I wasn't so hesitant on having electronic copies, mainly because electronic copies you don't get back. If I wasn't so hesitant about getting electronic copies, I'd probably just straight purchase it from YouTube. So yeah, like this is one I'd want to own.
I got you. Well, you know what, sir? I'll send you a link. We do actually have links for where you can buy the physical copy, the DVD copy in the description as well. So, yes. So, well, with all that being said, sir, I don't have too much more to say, like, do you have anything else you want to add before we go into the rating, or?
No, not particularly.
All right. Well, in that case, on a scale of up to 10, sir, how would you rate this?
I would personally rate this a solid 9, if not 10.
All right. So, well, okay, so you're like bordering on the 2. What negatives do you have with it?
My negatives would be
the lack of fire in his eyes.
No. The only lack I would have was the love story part of it came out of nowhere for me.
Oh,
it felt a little forced.
It didn't feel forced. I mean, like they provided background on it. They let you know that it was a very kind of like a building growing thing, and they even showed that he actually remembered her from a long time ago, which spurred him to, I would assume, be better.
Okay. I just felt like it was, the reason it feels forced to me would be that I didn't see a lot of backstory other than random flirting, and then she was rather cold to him at first. Well, you know what? No, I guess. Okay, no, never. I'm gonna have to take that back. Oh, okay. So CJ actually says she was his reason for racing. or for reasoning to race.
Right. What?
So if that's
What am I, chopped
if
liver?
that's how,
What am I, chopped? Dude. Like, man. Dude. I knew you never listened to me. I knew it.
I gotta give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Sure.
Well, no, like
She ignited the fire, which made him want to race, made him do better. From the flashback, you don't remember the flashback that he had when he first actually met her, and he's like, I'm sure she doesn't remember.
Yeah, no, I recognize that, and I remember that, but I don't know. That felt interjected rather than organic. But I guess it was right around the time he had the fire in his eyes, so maybe.
Right. Like CJ says, it ignited the fire in his eyes, and boom, full circle. There you go. That's it, right there.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll give it a 10. This was very well done. I can't give any negatives about it that I can keep. I can give negatives all day, but I have disputers. And unfortunately, y'all have very good points. Yeah, I would own it. I would share it. I would force other people to watch it. If you're not into anime, like if you don't have, I guess, a good grasp on what anime is, this is a fantastic starting point, only because of the diversity of everything here, and the quality is amazing. So yeah, for that, I'll have to give it a 10.
Okay. All right.
And you?
So maybe we could get some clarification here, right?
Oh no.
All right, for the ending.
Okay.
All right. Did they live or did they die? I mean, because they were on a planet with gravity, obviously, right? Okay.
Maybe.
So they were
Possibly.
blasting through at ungodly speeds all the way up to the end. And now I have a question about some rules. Do you have to be in a vehicle to win the race? Because apparently, I always thought that was the case, but apparently you don't need to.
You just gotta pass the line.
Your pompadour just has to pass the line, apparently. All right. So that's cool. I mean, but they were floating around with each other in the air. I mean, like, did they just like transcend time and space with that final nitro boost?
Maybe.
I mean, like, that's the only thing that's keeping me from giving it a 10 is like, did they die? I mean, like, are we seeing them just like float off into the distance dead or something like that? Or I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I gotta admit though, like even if they did that, let's assume they died, right? Let's assume
okay.
Done.
All right.
You know,
all right.
the pompadour passed the line. They got the race winning money.
Okay.
And then they died. Like they died from exposure. Okay.
Well,
their
that's
eyeballs
kind of
popped out of their heads. You know, all that stuff.
So hang on. They pass the race, they get their money, and then they die. That's kind of messed up.
No,
That's what you said, though. That's what you said. Just like, well, they pass the race, they get their money, and they died.
You didn't let me finish because I was still in the process of explaining what happened to them.
Okay.
So they obviously are outside the car. They were running all that stuff. They make it through the red line. They become first place champions. Obviously, they and their team would be part of the winning circle.
Hang on.
So
CJ has the perfect solution. He says she asked him to make her dream come true, and that man's hair did it.
That sounds accurate to me.
It's 100. You know what? It's 100% accurate. So
as I was saying, the pompadour passed. They got first place. Their eyeballs exploded. Their lungs froze because of the exposure. And so they die. However, they die in each other's embrace, which leads them on to an afterlife where they can live on and leave together.
Embrace until
now,
after.
Hear me out.
Hear me out. CJ
they embraced afterwards. No. Hold on. I got a perfect thing.
No, you're making it worse.
They die.
You're making it
they go
worse.
together, right? They embrace in the afterlife. They're together forever. Now, Frankie, who owed a lot of money, got all the winnings. He could pay everything off. He's debt free. His life is his own. The mechanic who wanted all double money, he got everyone is happy. They got the money. They can live a better life, happier life. He's happy. He's with the woman he loves for eternity.
Cool.
So, and his name is in the record books as a winner.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and give it an 8 then.
Interesting. And why?
You gave horrible points, ruined the ending for me.
Explain.
Yeah, I was ready to go with a 10 with what CJ had said. All right.
I doubt that.
I was.
I doubt that.
I was. I was like, you know what? I was ready to give it a 10. You told me, nay, nay, nay. Allow me to ruin the ending with nonsense that makes no sense.
How was that nonsense? How would that ruin the movie? Everyone gets a happy ending. And it's an actual bookend.
Let's see here. Hang on. They cross the finish line. They die. Okay. They explode internally. And then they embrace each other after their death. And then at that point, everyone gets their money and all this other stuff. And the guy who tried ruining everything in the end, and the mechanic who's greedy anyways, get everything like that. You know,
I wouldn't say he was greedy. It was just, cost doing business.
No, he was greedy. All right. So, I mean, like, why would I want to give a great ending? Why would I want to have all that extra needless information? I asked a simple question.
Which was?
Right? Did they live or did they die? And CJ's remark was, doesn't matter. She wanted her dream to come true. Pompadour made that dream come true. I was like, all right, you know what? Fair enough.
Okay.
All right. But keep pushing it, sir. Keep pushing it, because you know what? I'm feeling like a 6 now. I'm feeling 6-y.
You know, like a 6. You talked yourself into a 6. Okay,
I myself into 6.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm. You know what? I'm just saying. I might have to give it like a 14 just to compensate.
Well, you could try and do that, but on a scale of up to 10, you can't go 14, sir. I mean, like, there's nothing beyond that. You hit the wall. She just says, Jack. Don't think too much hard about it. Straightforward movie about a race. They ended the race winning with his pompadour. Got to add that in there, CJ. You got to add that in there. Okay. All right. So
the pompadour helps you win more. Okay.
The pompadour
that makes
helps
sense.
you win more. Okay. All right. So, like, because of the argument that you that you presented, honestly, Rick, that is honestly what's going to keep it from a 10 for me. Like that, honestly, that ruined it. I will give it a solid 9, though.
I'm just saying, it makes perfect sense. Now, granted, their eyes exploding. All right, fine. I was a bit too graphic with that.
Look, I tried ending it 4 times, and you're like, no. CJ. Okay, all right. Before we end this, all right, straight up. Did I try to end it a couple of times, CJ? Please let me know.
No.
And Rick wanted to continue on. He wanted.
This feels like we're on 2 separate sides talking to like a puppy, and we're like, come here. You're with me. Come here. And you're making a beloved member of our group choose between you and me.
I mean, I'm not making them do anything. I'm asking a simple question, and the answer to that question is, yeah, I did try to end it, and you said nay.
It feels like I'm over here like, come here with my love, and you're like, I got a casino. We can go have some fun.
So CJ says his soul is shattered, Rick, just like their damn eyes, according to you. Right.
Oh my goodness!
Because I care about you, CJ, I will give it a 10. All right. Does that help?
That feels like blackmail. It feels like blackmail.
You know what?
Manipulation.
You are like really trying to keep this from getting from a 10.
No, I want to give it a 10, but I also want your honest opinion, unswayed by either myself or DJ.
So what you're saying is I shouldn't give it a 10. I should give it a
You should
score.
be true to yourself.
Look, sir, I was
If I learned nothing from this, it's be true to yourself.
Then you learned nothing.
No, but in seriousness, what do you think?
All seriousness, all right, despite your horrible attempt at trying to explain everything, which honestly would keep me from giving it, if I truly took what you were saying to heart, would keep me from a 10. True rating, I do give it a 10. It was a very enjoyable movie. I loved the artwork of it. It was very reminiscent for me, very enjoyable. Everything that they did in the movie just felt right. So I truly have no real like negativity for it. I mean, like it set out to be entertaining. It was 100% entertaining. The music, the art, the flow, the actors, both subbed, dubbed, were both great. So, and then, you know, they didn't take themselves too seriously in the movie either. So, you know, it just made it all the better.
I liked it a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. So
It was very enjoyable.
it was. Next week's choice is a random choice, and it's a movie. Again, I know, Rick, you love to ask me what it's about.
Okay, I like to know what I'm getting in myself into.
I have no idea what it's about. All I know is the name.
That's a lie. Feels like a falsehood.
Its name, I feel like, could be very misleading.
Oh no! What is it?
It's called Fragtime.
Huh?
Fragtime. Together, one word. Fragtime.
Fragtime.
Yep. Okay. Well, with all that being said, if you feel like we got something right, something wrong, did it too much justice, not enough justice, you know, just missed something or anything like that, you know, just let us know. Feel free to reach out to us. All our contact information is available on our website, featuredanimepodcast.com. If you want to buy the movie that we're talking about today, I do have affiliate links for you in the description. We do get a little bit of a kickback. I have a couple of them. You can buy the digital version from Amazon. I have an affiliate link for that there. I also have a physical copy affiliate link for you from Right Stuff Anime. But purchase something on there, we do get a little bit of a kickback. It is very much appreciated. If you want to help support us, help us grow or anything like that too, you know, patreon.com/featuredanimepodcast. We were still talking about the movie even before we actually started the podcast itself. So if you want to catch that bonus content, the $1 a month will get you access to it. So it's the best, honestly, the best way to support us too. And until next time, I'm Jack.
I'm Rick, and we'll see you next time.